Welcome to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? Success in business most often comes down to hard work, not by silver bullets and quick fixes. It's knowing where to focus that hard work that's key to winning. Join sales prospecting expert and 3-time seven-figure business founder Carrie Richardson and managing partner of R&R Consulting and former owner of Doberman Technologies, Ian Richardson, for radical honesty regarding strategic planning, accountability, and execution that will get you the systematic results you're working toward. Let's get into today's episode. Thought leader and your host, Carrie Richardson.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Carrie Richardson, and I am the host of Win What's Important Now. And with me today is Carla Ejaz. And Carla is one of the co-founders of Lasting Impressions Promotional Marketing. Lasting Impressions has a pretty amazing story, and I can't wait to share it with you. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you, Carla. And I'm super excited because I get to interview all 3 founders for Win this week. And the most exciting thing I think we can talk about that we're going to talk about with one of your other co-founders is your EY Entrepreneur of the Year nomination. So let's get right into it. Lasting Impressions was founded in 1976 by Mark DeBuro, and you purchased the company in 2017. Tell me a little bit about how that came about. Why did you choose this firm?
Absolutely. So this is actually a company that was founded by my father. And so we've been around this business growing up. From the time I could walk, I was down at the facility doing every job that you can imagine. Myself, along with my sister Angela, we actually have 2 other siblings as well. We've been down there and we've done every job. We've worked in production. We've just filed catalogs. We've organized. We've worked in the office settings. It was only natural that after we graduated college that we got involved in the business. So we've, again, all worked there essentially our whole lives. And when my dad was getting ready to slow down and he was looking to sell the company, he came to us first and we decided that we did want to purchase it. So in 2017, Angela and myself, along with a third partner, we purchased the company from him.
And tell us a little bit about Lasting Impressions. I understand that the first items that were created by your father were sports uniforms, Charlie's Angel t-shirts, and Farrah Fawcett materials. Tell me about how that happened.
Yeah. So I know it's a really cool story. He actually dropped out of college 2 years in and decided that he wanted to open up a sports shop. So he started in Melvindale, Michigan. He was in a ice arena. He started sharpening skates and then transferring numbers and things on jerseys, numbers on the back, names on the back of jerseys. And his claim to fame, what really got him on the map was that iconic Farrah Fawcett photo of her in the swimsuit with her head tilted back. So that was a huge photo around that time. And he was like, hey, I'm going to put this on a shirt and sell this. And that's what he did. And he sold an insane amount of shirts. I can't tell you the exact number, but it was enough for him to take his business to that next step. So throughout the years, he moved away from that sportswear stuff and he got into the promotional product side of things where he started selling to larger corporations. And that's how it turned into the business that we're in now. We're a part of the ASI and the CAI industry, and we sell mainly to corporations, but we do everything. So we have a whole team of sales reps. We sell to the restaurant down the street, and we also sell to the Fortune 500 companies. And we do a lot of online stores as well. So again, we don't focus on one industry specifically. We have our hand in everything.
There's so many interesting things to talk about. So I'm actually super stoked that I get to speak to all 3 of you because I don't think we could cover all of the highs and lows of the things that have happened to you in the last 5 years just in a 20-minute podcast. But let's first talk about the good things. I love to talk about opportunity. And you had mentioned that it looks like this is going to be the highest growth year that you've ever had.
Yes, we're hoping that we will be able to hit that goal. Our highest growth year was actually through COVID. As everybody knows, 2020, everything just stopped. And that was the same for us. We are a very event driven business. So we are providing a lot of promotional items for golf outings, for large events, for trade shows, all of that, for office supplies. Well, people aren't going into the office, people are canceling their events. So whenever COVID happened, it was an immediate stop to our business. It was just like canceled order and nothing coming in. So we really had to think fast. And we said, okay, we're going to do everything that we can to keep this business afloat, to keep our employees working. We had a 50,000 square foot facility. We have tons of production staff down there. We just have to do what we can to keep this going. So what we ended up doing is we got into the PPE game. We started supplying masks. We started supplying gowns. We ended up purchasing large totes of hand sanitizer, brought them into our warehouse facility. We were trying to figure out how to bottle this stuff, how to label this stuff. We were flying by the seat of our pants. There was a plastic shortage at one point, so we were putting liquid sanitizer into squeeze bottles that really weren't supposed to contain anything that was liquid, but it's all we could get our hands on. And we thought, well, it's better than nothing. So we were just trying to roll with the punches, and just failure's not an option whenever you're an entrepreneur. You know that. We were talking earlier. You got to do what you have to do to survive. And that's what we were doing. So
Now, I love hearing about the companies that thrived through the pandemic. Unfortunately, mine wasn't one of those businesses, but I did get to restart in an interesting way. So it wasn't the end for me. And I
yeah,
know a lot of people my business was in Las Vegas then. So I know a lot of the people that probably had to stop buying your promotional items because all of the
yeah,
casinos closed down. All of the trade shows that were held at the casinos closed down. And we had a lot of people in our entrepreneurs organization where their business just stopped overnight. We had a company that supplied sundries, for example, to all the hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. And overnight,
yeah.
their business was gone. And they didn't recover, and it was really tragic. So I'm always excited to hear when people do. But you did not escape your fair share of tragedy. So tell me
No.
about the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome in the last few years.
Yeah. We finally got everything back to normal after COVID. Was the inventory shortage has been a huge issue in our industry, just like it has been for everyone else. We're finally on the upswing of that. We're able to provide these items for people. Inventory is looking great. Everything was going well. And then in March of 2022, we experienced a fire at our facility. So, as I mentioned earlier, we had a 50,000 square foot facility. We were located in Melvindale, Michigan, and we experienced a fire there. The building was completely burned to the ground. So, we had production, screen printing, embroidery. We do banners in house. We did custom tagging, drinkware, all of that completely gone, all our inventory, everything. So thankfully, we were able to save our server. So with that server, we were able to be back up and running within just 14 hours of the fire happening. It's been a whirlwind of a year. We were able to find a new facility. So we're now located in Canton, Michigan. We've been renovating that facility since we purchased it it's been about since November, December that we were able to be in that facility, started renovating it. It's 55,000 square foot. And we are going to be moving in there in actually about a week or two. So we're really excited to have our production back, everything up and running. Right now, our goal was to keep our employees working as much as we could. We have some employees that are working at a competitors of ours where we have an understanding with them. They said, hey, we'll keep your employees working, send all that work our way. And then whenever you guys are back on your feet, you can take them back. So that we're so thankful to our community. The outreach was incredible. We were able to have our employees use one of our other competitors' embroidery machines for a few months until we were able to get some new machines over here. We had another competitor that let us rent some space from them. So when we did get our new embroidery machines in, we brought those into his facility. We rented that space. We were able to keep those employees working. We have other employees that are just down at our new building right now, painting and helping make production tables and just really doing anything that they can. They're putting backsplash up. They're helping with the kitchen, just whatever we could do to keep everyone working. That's our goal. And we have a really great team. So everyone's been really willing to just jump in and work at a temporary location and help us paint and do whatever that they can to help us out as well. So it's really a family.
Tell me a little bit about how you built that culture, because that is not common. So not only did you build phenomenal relationships with your competitors to the point where instead of celebrating your loss, they pitched in and said, "How can we help you?" And your employees did the exact same thing. So tell me a little bit about the evolution of the growth of your business. I know that you said you scale from 25 to 75 employees annually and seasonally, which to me was, I couldn't imagine trying to add 50 employees every year and then trying to
Yeah.
slowly move them out every year and then have them come back. So tell me
Yeah.
about your HR processes, your culture.
Yeah. So in terms of that family culture, you know what? That's what's most important to us. And we expect to give that same back to our employees and to our clients. We want to treat our employees like their family. We treat our clients like our family. That's why I think a lot of the employees like working with us and for us, and why a lot of our clients like working with us, because we try to create that atmosphere. Family is the most important thing to us, and I think it should be to most people. So if someone says, hey, they have something coming up that they need to be home for, or someone just had a baby, or someone has something going on in their lives, we want to make sure that we are supporting them in that, just as we would expect support from each other. So we really do try to create that culture, and I think that's really helpful. And we do that again with our competitors. We'll always lend a helping hand to them, and then them to us as well. Like, we've been around since 1976, as you mentioned earlier. So we've had a lot of years to build up great vendor relations, great client relations, and great relations with our competitors as well.
I have a question about the transition time. So you purchased the
Sure.
business from your father. Did you always see eye to eye with your father on how the business should be run and what needed to change through the
Yeah.
acquisition? Like, where were there any tension points? Like, I ran a family business as well, and our first strategic facilitation, everybody left in tears, and I wouldn't even get into the car with my mother. I hated her so much at the end of
Oh,
it. And we have a great relationship, but at the first, like after that first, like everybody putting it on the table, everybody was so raw and angry and weird. Like, tell me about how you managed transitioning your dad from, you mentioned he's still in sales. So how does he watch you run the business, and is he able to back up, or are there points of conflict from time to time?
I would say for the most part, he's really great at that. He does understand that things are going to change with new ownership, and he likes the changes that we're making. I think that sometimes it is hard to watch someone maybe make a decision that you wouldn't make, but he's really great. We ask for his opinion whenever we need it, and he'll offer his sage advice. And whether we take it or not, at least he knows that we are reaching out. We do really very much value his opinion. And he built a business. He built the business on his own. So from 76 to 2017, it was just him. Things are a lot different because now we're a whole team. And I mentioned earlier that there are 3 owners, but really we're an executive team of 5. And no decision gets made without the 5 of us. And we each have our places in the company. So we each have our primary focus, and we have our areas of where we're going to help grow the business. So I think that has been a great attribute for what's allowed us to grow so much over the course of these past 5 to 6 years, because we're a team of 5, not 1. We're able to each take those parts and expand in those areas. In terms of arguing or anything like that, it's something that we've grown up around our whole lives, and that's something that we've always said from the very beginning. Whatever happens at work, that stays at work. We're not bringing that home in the evenings. We're not bringing that home on the weekends. We are a big, loud Italian family. We're together all the time, and we just can't let that get in the way. To answer that question, no, there's never any fighting. We all have our areas, and we respect each other in and out of the workplace.
And are you able to gently tell someone when they're coming into your lane? Is there like a secret code, or do you follow a
Right?
specific strategic plan where I know like we're a strat-op shop and there's other companies that are EOS shops. Do you subscribe to any particular strategic planning methodology?
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't say we subscribe to anything in particular, but we are very transparent. And I think that's just what is the most important thing. So if you are not agreeing with what someone is saying, or you do feel like someone's coming in your lane, just making sure that you express that. You don't let that fester and you come to a decision together.
And what is your lane?
So I'm business development. I know we were talking previously before we started recording, but so in 2017 when we purchased the company, and then in 2019 we purchased a supplier within our industry that allowed us to do in-house decorating. So now we do in-house screen printing, embroidery, direct to garment. We do drinkware in-house. We do custom tagging, warehouse fulfillment, all of that. So since we have that all in-house, we were able to fill a void in our industry. So a lot of people and a lot of clients were coming to us looking for an option for on-demand purchasing in just single pieces with little to no upfront inventory having to be brought in for their branded merchandise. So now that we do all of that in our facility, we were able to fill that gap that was missing in our industry. So we do a lot of that through company stores, and that's what I manage.
Okay. And you had mentioned that you had two opportunities that you were pursuing this year. One was going to be organic growth, and the other was growth through acquisition. So tell me a little bit about how you're dividing, like where is the focus and priority going to be, or will somebody else work on acquisition while you focus on the organic growth?
Sure. So the organic growth, we always want to grow organically every year. That is never going to be a changing goal. That is a consistent goal for us every single year. And we have a team inside that makes sure that we are hitting those milestones with the sales, with our sales team and beyond. And then, yes, through acquisition, that's always been a goal of ours, and actually something that we were actively pursuing before the fire took place. That did have to go on pause until we are up and running. And now that we are going to be in our facility, it's been a crazy year. But now that we've found a facility, we've renovated, we're going to be moved in within the next week or two. We're going to go ahead and get back to focusing on acquisition. So hopefully acquiring another business within our industry.
So putting on our future sight goggles, you already mentioned what your revenue number was right now. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, and how are you going to get there?
Yeah, absolutely. See ourselves again continuously hitting that at the very least 10% growth annually. That's always been our goal, and we've succeeded that in some years, which is just icing on the cake. But to be able to, in 5 years, hopefully at that point acquired one, if not maybe two companies within our industry would be amazing. And to continue growing our inside team as well, continue growing with our sales staff, and to continue growing with our inside support staff and that production as well.
Well, I think you guys have a phenomenal story, and I think we can stop right
Thank
there
you.
since we're going to have the opportunity to speak with both Angela and Jeff today. And then for those of you who are listening to Win today, you're going to get to hear two more versions of the Lasting Impressions story. So I want to wish you a whole lot of luck on your EY nomination this year.
Thank
And
you.
I'm super excited to hear since they won't be able to hear your interview before they give theirs. I'm really excited to stack all three of them together and then allow all of you guys to listen to how you presented
Yeah.
the same sort of story. Because I'm sure everyone's going to have just a tiny little bit of a different viewpoint. So for me, it's been super exciting talking to you, and I want to thank you for your time. Do you want to let our listeners know how they could reach you if they're in the market for some of the things that Lasting Impressions does?
Yes, absolutely. So a few different ways that you can reach us, most commonly through our website, which is www.liteam.com. You can reach us through there. We have a live chat. You can fill out a contact us form. You can also call in 734-641-2800. You can ask to speak to myself or anyone on the sales team, and they would connect you.
That's wonderful. And that'll all be in the show notes. So no need to grab a pen and write it down. It'll be there for you. And we'll link right through to the website in the show notes. And this should be live within a couple of days. So thank you again. It's a pleasure having you on Win. And for everybody else out there, keep winning.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? We're so glad you've joined us and know you're one step closer to winning big in your business too. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to connect@rnr.consulting. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so you'll easily know when new episodes are available. Until next time, you can win, and we're here to help.